Okay, so in the last class we've started with fourth module. What the fourth module says to us. Okay, so in the fourth module we've started with just brief out about the fourth module, then move on to the next part, the topic where we have left. So in the fourth module, we were seeing about a multi-threaded programming, and we are seeing about enumeration, autoboxing, and annotation. So then what is multi-threading fundamentals? Multitasking. So this becomes problem admitting you people every then. Already I have problem with the internet in here, and still you people start, if I start admitting you people, it will take time. It's already 8 or 15 minutes is over. Okay. So multi-threaded fundamentals, multitasking, running 2 or more programs simultaneously at. Is there any option where you people keep joining? Any settings? Anybody know about the settings where I keep admitting everyone without changing anything? Anybody can help me out? Fast control. Quick access when turned on. This I have to turn on. I hope so. This should work out. Let us see. Okay. So multi-threaded fundamentals. So in the multitasking, running 2 or more programs simultaneously at the same time. Multi-threading, dividing the program into smaller chunks called threads and running them simultaneously. Thread, it is a lightweight process that execute some task. Then you can see life cycle of a thread. So waiting, sleeping, and blocking. So then we start with new, runnable, running, and terminated. So notify all. When sleep time is when you're made it as a sleep, then if after your work is done, so you have to resume back. So that's what your resume function will be doing. So then we have running. So where when the program is in the process of running. So then terminate, that is a end. You have done with your work and you want to stop. So that's what is called as a terminate and a deadline. So then what is the life cycle of a thread? So life cycle of a thread, where it starts, how it is moving on from running to runnable, and how it is terminated. All these comes under a life cycle of a thread. So first we have something called as a new. So what is this new? So when thread begins its life cycle, then we call it as a new state. It remains in the state until the program starts. So until the program starts the thread. It is also also referred to as a born state. So now how the kid is born, same way here, when the thread is born at a new state, then we call it as a new. So then runnable, a thread in this state is considered to be executing its task, that is a running. So then wait, so suppose if you want some value from the keyboard, then you use a waiting. A thread transmission to the waiting state while the thread waits for another thread to perform a task. A thread transmission back to the runnable state only when another thread signals the waiting thread to continue executing. So then terminated, a runnable thread enters the terminated state when it completes its task or otherwise terminates. So threads are lightweight than process. It makes less time, less resource to create a thread. So thread shares their parent process data and code. Context switching between threads is usually less expensive than between the processes. So thread intercommunication is relatively easy than process communication. Better resource utilization, a simple program design is in some situation. More expensive programs. So the thread class and a runnable interface, multi-threading is built on a thread class and its companion interface runnable. So both the package comes in the import, that is java.language. So then the all process have at least one thread of execution, which is usually called the main thread. Thread can be created in two ways, implementing runnable interface and extending a thread class. So implementing runnable interface, the runnable interface signature, public interface runnable and run, void run. Steps to create thread by implementing runnable. A class need to only implement a single method called as a run. A thread can be created by any method within the following steps. How we can create a thread? So first we have to create an object of a class that implements a runnable thread. Then create a thread by passing object current class that implements a run method. So then thread t equals to new thread t. So the same way how we create an object, same way here we are creating a thread using a new and a keyword called as a thread, and we are taking one value where we are storing this object, that is a t. So then once thread is created, we should start the thread. So then we have to call a method called as a start. Call start method, which in turn calls a run method and starts a thread. So that's what here class my thread. It's just a small example code where it shows how the threads can be started. So that's what class my thread implements runnable, public void run, then for int I equals to 0, I is less than 40, I plus plus, then system.out.println I, then public static void main string arguments. So then my thread ta equals to new thread, new my thread. So then thread t equals to new thread ta. So that's what here you can see my thread we have started first constructor. So what is the class name? Here the class name is a my thread. So when we say my thread, that is the name of the class, and we have started with the same, then that is what is called as a constructor. We just know whenever we start any method with the same name as a class, then that is what is called as a constructor. The same way here we start with a thread. So thread t equals to new thread, and we are storing that constructor in a thread called as a ta, and that in turn is stored in the object called as a t. So then extending thread class, test extends thread, public void run for int I equals to 0, I is less than 40, I plus plus, system.out.println I, system.out.println end of a run. So test t equals to new test, then t dot start. So even though we don't create any thread, Java treats the main method as the first thread called as a main thread. It is the thread from which other child threads will be swapped. It must be the last thread to finish execution because it performs various shutdown actions. Controlling main thread, it can be controlled through a thread object. To do so, you must obtain a reference to I by calling a method thread current thread, which is a public static member of a thread. General form, static thread current thread. This method returns a reference to the thread in which it is called. Once you have a reference to the main thread, you can control it just like any other thread. Example, getting a reference to a main method, thread t equals to thread dot current thread, th dot get name. That's what here getting a reference to a main thread. So public class demo. So this is one small example where how threads can be used. Public static void main, as I told you, for any Java program, this slide is compulsory. That is public static void main. The string arguments. So what we do, if you want to pass anything at a command line argument, we use a string and arguments. We have started creating a thread object. So that's what here thread th. Th is a name where the object is stored. Thread dot current thread. System.out.println current thread th.getName, th.setName my thread. So here you can change the name of the thread, then display that th what is there after name change. So then try and catch, if we feel there are any errors in the code, then we use a try and catch. So for int I equals to 4, n greater than 0, n minus minus, then system.out.println thread.sleep 1000, then catch interrupt exception system.out.println main thread interrupts. Then sleep method, static void sleep, long milliseconds, throws interrupted exception, causes the thread from which it is called to suspend execution for the specified period of milliseconds. Choosing an approach, if you want to override many methods of thread class, then extend the thread class. So if you want to override only run method, then better to implement runnable interface. Creating multiple threads, class myThread implements runnable string name. So public myThread, how the string and what is the name of that thread name. So then we are passing that argument to one more variable called as a name. Then use run. So we want to run the thread. So how many times? It's like here we have started with 5 and move on, decrement it till it becomes 0. So then system.out.println, you are just printing name. So that's what the thread what we have created. So then repeat this how many times? Wait for some time, then again repeat till I start from I decrement, keep decrementing next 4, 3, 2, 1, and when it is 0, it will come out. So then catch interrupted exception E, system.out.println name interrupt, system.out.println, then that is exit. All child threads execute concurrently. Threads are started in order in which they are created. However, they may not always be the case. Java is free to schedule the execution of threads in its one way. Because of difference in timing or environment, the output from the program may differ. So determining where a thread ends, as main is a parent for all the child process, we want the main to finish last over all threads. How to ensure the main finishes last? Java provides two methods for this. That is isAlive and a join. So isAlive helps to determine whether a thread has finished. Join, wait for a thread to finish. So syntax, final boolean isAlive, return true if the thread upon which it is called is still running, otherwise false. So then join method, finally avoid join throws interrupted exception. This method waits until the thread on which it is called terminates. Class myThread implements runnable, then string name, so public myThread, so string thread name, so name equals to thread name, public void run. So then try catch. So we know that we feel that there may be some error in the try and catch, so we are using the try catch. Then display. So interrupt means wait for some time. So that's what interrupt you are calling. Then public static void main. So then calling a thread, creating a thread. T1 is a thread. And start that thread. So we know that we use a start method. So T1.start. Then we check whether it is alive or not. So then we use a isAlive method. So then join. So T1.join. Then system.out.println. So thread priorities. So there are different priorities where we can set. So which one should be executed first? All Java threads have a priority in the range 1 to 10. JVM selects to run a highest priority thread. 3 constants defined in thread class. So thread dot maximum priority, thread minimum priority. So maximum priority is 10, minimum priority is 1, and the normal priority, that is default, always generally will be 5. So in case 2 threads have the same priority, then it will be first come first out ordering is followed. So JVM uses a primitive priority based scheduling algorithm. A thread with a higher priority than the thread currently running enters the runnable state. So the lowest priority thread is preferred at the higher priority thread is scheduled to run. So context switching is the operating system switching from one running thread to the next. So the rules to determine a context switching: a thread can voluntarily relinquish control. So this is done by explicitly yielding, clipping, or blocking on pending input output. In this scenario, all other threads are examined, and the highest priority thread that is ready to run is given the CPU. A thread can be preempted by a high priority thread. As soon as the high priority thread wants to run, it preempts the lower priority thread. This is called primitive multitasking. So example for a priority thread program. So here how we do, we extend, we call a thread class, and we use them in a test multi priority. So then start with a run method. Then we use thread.current thread, that is get the name and set the priority. Then creating two threads M1 and M2 for creating an object of thread M1 and M2 and setting the priority for M1 as minimum and M2 as maximum. So then start M1 and M2. Next built-in method using yield causes a currently running thread to yield to any other threads with the same priority waiting to be scheduled. So that's what here you can see. This is a condition if I is equal to 2, yield system.out.println. So the next was synchronization. So what do we mean by synchronization? If the picture in your movie you would have seen, if the picture is moving and the lip movement of the actor or actresses is coming slow, then we cannot call it as a synchronized. So synchronized means where the scene as well as the lip movement, the sound and the picture also in the same pace. So then we call it as a synchronized. Same way here, even in a thread also, synchronization when more than one thread try to access a shared resource, we need to ensure that resource will be used by only one thread at a time. The process by which this is achieved is called synchronization. Thread synchronization, there are two types of thread synchronization, mutual exclusion and inter-thread communication. So the mutual exclusive synchronized method, synchronized block, corporation or inter-thread communication. So in that we have something called as a wait, notify and notify all. So then what is synchronized method? If you declare any method as a synchronized, it is known as a synchronized method. So we use a keyword called as a synchronized. Synchronized method is used to lock an object for any shared resource. So what the synchronized method will do, it will lock, is used to lock an object for any shared resource. So synchronization in Java is the capacity to control the access of multi-thread to any shared resource. So that's what here you can see. Now I am taking a class, Java class from 8:30 to 9:30 Tuesday first hour. So no one else will be handling the class at this time. So because it is locked by one staff. Same way even the other. So how we are doing? We are doing using a timetable. Same way here, even in the synchronized, if something is being used by one thread, that will be locked until unless that is released. Synchronized statement, synchronized block can be used to perform synchronization on any specific reason of the method. Suppose you have 50 lines of code in your method, but you want to synchronize only 5 lines. You can use synchronized block. Synchronized block is used to lock an object for any shared resource. Scope of synchronized block is smaller than the method. Synchronized block is used to lock an object for any shared resource. So the general form of synchronized object reference, then expression. So example, class blank, some class with a name bank, and what is the balance? We have told it as initially we have made it as a 0. then call that bank again. So when we call that name, so then that is what is called as a constructor. So and we are setting the balance as 100. So then we are calling a method called as a withdraw. So in that we have an argument called as a amount. So we want to withdraw some amount. So when I'm withdrawing the amount and we set that synchronized. So we are using synchronized means anybody is using one particular account for withdrawing. No one else can access that account. That is what the balance minus amount less than 0. So balance not enough cannot withdraw money, else balance equals to balance minus amount. Suppose if you have your balance is 100 rupees and you are withdrawing 10 rupees, so then 100 minus 10 is what? 90. So that's what here this program will be doing. So then thread communication using notify, wait and notify all. So in inter-thread communication or corporation is all about allowing synchronized thread to communicate with each other. So now in your class, so how do we communicate? So just now in the morning, I have just put you saying that join the class. So when I've told to join the class, but here there is some issue with the internet, but my mobile is working because mobile internet is different and college internet is different. So that's how here, how do we communicate? We have to use one more method. So that's what here the cooperation. Inter-thread communication is a mechanism in which a thread is paused running in its critical section and another thread is allowed to enter in the same critical section to be executed. So then allowing a synchronized thread to communicate with each other. So implementing by following methods. So how do we allow the synchronized thread? So we use a built-in methods called as a wait, notify and a notify all. So what is wait is doing? So same way, suppose if you have some values to be taken from the keyboard. So then the processor has to wait until we press some value from the keyboard. Same way here, even in a thread also we are using a wait. So wait, it causes current thread to wait until either another thread invokes. So it must be called from synchronized context, from block or method. It means before wait method is called. Then the syntax public final void wait throws interrupted exception. Public final void wait long timeout throws interrupted exception. Next method is notify, wakes up a single thread that is waiting on this object monitor. So then in that case what we do, so public final void notify. So notify all wakes up all threads that are waiting on this object monitor. So if you want only a single thread, then we use a notify. So if you want completely, so now suppose you think that if I just call only the Akshayani, then I'm calling only for the Akshayani, but I just want to inform complete class. So then what I do, I put a message in a group. So then that message will be received to everyone. So the same way here, notify and notify all. Notify means only I am messaging for the Akshayani. Notify all, I am messaging for whole class. So the same way here, notify and notify all. So next methods, we have something called as a suspending, resuming and stopping thread. A program used suspend and resume and stop, which are methods defined by thread. So they have the form shown below. So final void suspend, final void resume and final void stop. So what is this? Final means what? There will be no further implementation. So that's the end. So that's the reason we generally use a keyword called as a final. So in the same way, suspend. So wait for some time. Don't want to execute now. So in that case, it is called, we use a suspend. Then resume. So once you made something to wait, so then you want it to resume back. So that is what is called as a resume. Then stop. I have completed my work and it is done. So then we use a stop method. So that's what here suspend, resume and stop. Suspend. This method puts a thread in suspending state and can be resumed using the resume method. Then resume. So that's what here this method resumes a thread which was suspended using the suspend method. Stop. This method stops a thread completely. Once a thread has been stopped, it cannot be restarted using a resume. So the same way program with synchronized method and synchronized block. Here we are using a method called as a class table synchronized void. So for what we are making a synchronized for a print table. What is that method? That is method, that print method is synchronized, so that no one else is using a print table when I am using. That's what a synchronized says to us. But how many times, what is there in the print table? So we are just multiplying n into I. So how many times? Start I equals to 1 and keep repeating till I becomes equal to 5. So then try again. Within that we are using a sleep method. We are calling a thread. How much time it sleeps. So we have given some time. Then exception, try and catch. Then display the E. What is that E? E is a caught exception. So whatever we have tried to catch, that exception is present in a E and we are displaying that E. So then one more method where we are creating a thread, a table, the T, and we are calling that table, then calling that runtime. So a run method and a printing. So that's what here program with synchronization method and the synchronization block. Class my thread 2 extends thread. So my thread 2 table T, this dot T equals to T, public void run T dot print table, class test synchronization, public static void main string, the table object equals to new table, thread 1 thread, we are creating an object for object T1. So then we are creating one more object T2. So we're passing an object obj for both threads T1 and T2 and start both the threads T1 dot start and T2 dot start. Then synchronized block. So class table, so void print table. So then we are calling the synchronized keyword for a particular block. So then that's the reason we are using this method. For print that, how many times we are printing system.out.println and execute that. How many times? Start from I equals to 1 till I is less than or equal to 5. You repeat that loop. And we are feeling that because it is synchronized, until the printing for one is done, wait for the second one for some time. So in that case, we use a sleep. And again, that sleep method where we are using, we feel that there may be some error. So in that case, we are using the exception, that is try and catch. So next we move on to the enumerations. What is enumeration? An enumeration is a list of named constant. What do we mean by enumeration? Enumeration is a list of named constant. In Java, enumerations define class types. That is, in Java, enumeration can have constructors, methods, and variables. An enumeration is created using the keyword enum. Following is an example where enum person, married, unmarried, divorced, or a widow. So the identifier like married, unmarried, etc. are called as enumeration constant. Each such constant is implicitly considered as a public static final member of a person. After defining enumeration, we can create a variable of that type. Though the enumeration is a class type, we need not use a new keyword for a variable creation. Rather, we can declare it just like any primitive data type. For example, person P equals to P dot married. So what this says, P is a data type. So, and we say that whether a person is married or unmarried. So then we use equal operator for comparison of two enumeration variables. They can be used in switch case also. Printing an enumeration variable will print the constant name, that is system.out.println. Print as married. Consider the following program to illustrate working of enumeration: enum person, married, unmarried, divorced, or a widow. So then class enum demo, the public static void main string arguments. Person P1, P1 equals to person unmarried, system.out. We are just printing that P1. Again, we are creating one more P2. Then person dot widow. If P1 equals to P2, so in P1 what is there? Unmarried. In what is there in P2? Widow. Are these two same? No, it is not same. So because it is not same, so it will print as P1 and P2 are different. And again, in switch case, what we are doing, we are just passing the enumerations for in a case statement: married, unmarried, divorced, and a widow. So married. So if P1 is married, so here in this case, what is P1? P1 is unmarried. So it will go to unmarried and it will print a unmarried P1. And what is P2? P2 is a widow. It will go to a case where it is a widow and it will print that. So that's how here the enumerations are used. So values and values of, so what is values and values of methods? All enumeration contains two predefined methods, that is values and value of. Their general form are shown here. So public static enumeration type, that is values. Public static enumeration type, values of string. So the values method returns an array of enumeration constant. The value of method returns the enumeration constant whose value corresponds to the string passed in the string. So enumeration, we have seen that what is enumeration? It is a constant. So here in this case, so we are saying a person as an enumeration, and again in that person, what are the values we have taken? We have told it as a married, unmarried, divorced, and a widow. Then the class enum demo, public static void mail. Then person, we are creating a person object, P. Then we are saying displaying the following person constant, person all. So what is this person all? Is a method. We want all values which are there in the person. So in the person, what we have in person, we have married, unmarried, divorced, and widow. So for person, P dot all, system dot out dot print 1. Then P equals to person value of married. So we just want again in that complete all, we just want only one, that is married. Java enumerations are class type. So Java enumeration is a class type, that is we can write constant, add instance variable and methods, and even implement interface. It is important to understand that each enumeration constant is an object of its enumeration type. Thus, when you define a constructor for an enum, the constructor is called. When each enumeration constant is created, also each enumeration constant has its own copy of an instance variables defined by the enumeration. So here in this case, you can see there are different types of apples, and they have named as Jonath, Goldell, Reddell, Winechap, Portland. So these are the different types of apples, and the prices also is being given. So apple private, we are making price as private so that it should not be known for everybody. So the price, we are storing constructor and we are passing the parameter P, that is price, and get that price, return that price. And we are creating one more class, that is enumeration demo, and we are creating an object for apple class, apple enumerator, and display what is what is the cost of the apple, and display all apple's price. So that's what here it has been done in this program. The explanation of the same, how much, what is golden cost, it is 9 cents, Reddell cost is 12 cents, and Winechap is 15 cents, and Cortland is 8 cents. Here we have members variable price, a constructor, and a method member method. When the variable AP is declared in main, the constructor for apple is called once for each constant that is specified. Although the preceding example contains only one constructor, an enumeration can offer two or more overloaded forms, just as can any other classes. Two restrictions that apply to enumeration. An enumeration cannot inherit another class. An enumeration cannot be superclass. Enumeration inherits enum. All enumerations automatically inherited from java.language.enum. This class defines several methods that are available for use by all enumerations, we can obtain a value that indicates an enumeration constant's positions in the list of constant. This is called its ordinal value and is retrieved by calling the ordinal method shown here. Final int ordinal, it returns the ordinal value. It returns the ordinal value of the invoking constant. Ordinal values begins at a 0. We can compare the ordinal value of two constants of the same enumeration by using a compare to. So that's what we have just used, a compare to. How do we compare? I just want to know whether 5 is equal to 5. So we use in mathematics equal symbol. So in the same way here we use a compare to. So that's what here even dot compare to E2, whether even and E2 are same or not. Here even and E2 should be the enumeration constant belonging to the same enum type. If the ordinal value of the even is less than that of E2, then compare to will return a negative value. If the two ordinal values are equal, the method will return 0. Otherwise, it will return a positive numbers. We can compare for equality and enumeration constant with any other object by using equals, which overrides the equal method defined by object. So enum person, married, unmarried, divorced, and widows. Enum my state, married or divorced. So here we are just using the comparison method. In P1 we are storing it as a married, and in P2 we are storing it as a divorce, and P3 is again a married. And compare P1 and P2. So whether P1 and P2 are same. If it is same, it is displaying. If it is not, it will compare both. If it is not, it will say it is not. So that's how here P1, P2, P1, P3, P1 and comparison of these three. P1 is what married, P2 is what divorced, P3 is again married. So comparison of all these being done in this program. So I'll stop here. Wrapper classes we'll start in the next class. This Akrut.
Ma'am, can you explain that enumeration?
Yeah, enumeration is something constant where we are making it as a constant. So same like pi. So what is a pi here? What is the value of pi? What's the value of pi? It is 3.142. Can I change the value of pi? Can I change? Can I make it? Can I make it as Can I make it as 2.143? No, right?
No, ma'am.
No. It is universal constant. So that is just a constant, universal constant. That is with respect to values. So the same way here in enumerations, what we are doing is we are making something constant. We want it explicitly. Sometimes, suppose if I want Akrut, name should be Akrut only. I don't want to change. I don't want to give something. In that case, I will make the enumeration as a constant. So that is called as enumeration. What is enumeration? Enumeration is a list of named constant. What do we mean by named constant? Now I want some name to be given. I want one person. Now person can be married, person can be unmarried. That's what here in this full thing we have just taken example for that thing. So this is what enumeration. So first one person. What is that person? That person, either the person can be married, either person can be unmarried, either person can be divorcee or a widow. So this is how we are making these four things constant for for one thing called as a person, that we are making it as enumeration. So that is what is called as enumeration. Clear, Akrut? What is enumeration?
Yes, ma'am.
Enumeration is a named constant. Named constant example here you can see enum is a keyword where we say that person is a enumerated type. And what are the list here for that person? Person can be a married person. Person can be unmarried person. Person can be a divorcee or can be a widow. So that's how here we say the constant. So that we are calling it as a enumeration. Any doubt?
Thank you, ma'am.
Just answer your attendance. Today's date is 17/8. Anaga,
Yes, ma'am.
Abhilash,
Yes, ma'am.
Akhil,
Yes, ma'am.
Akrut,
Yes, ma'am.
Anusha, Arvind, Arifullah. Arvind is there?
Yes, ma'am.
Arvind has answered.
Ma'am, ಅದು
The
ಅಖಿಲ್
Arvind
ಆನ್ಸರ್
ನಾನು
ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು.
ಹಿಂಗೆ ಹಾಕ್ಲಪ್ಪ. ಅರವಿಂದ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ಓಕೆ. ಅಖಿಲ್ is marked. Arvind. Yes, Rupak. 1 second. Let me complete the attendance. I'll just come back to you. Penaka.
Present,
Banu
ma'am.
Prakash. Ma'am. Bhargav.
Yes, ma'am.
Rahmatullah.
Present, ma'am.
Chaitra.
Present, ma'am.
Chandana. Charan. Darshan.
Present, ma'am.
Diksha.
Yes, ma'am.
Dakshayani.
Present, ma'am.
Kishan.
Present, ma'am.
Harshit.
Present, ma'am.
Himalata.
Present, ma'am.
Uma.
Present, ma'am.
Jayant.
Present, ma'am.
Divya.
Yes, ma'am.
Kaushik.
Present, ma'am.
Lakshmi.
Present, ma'am. Mike.
Lavanya.
Present, ma'am.
Manish.
Present, ma'am.
Manoj.
Present, ma'am.
Mohit.
Yes, ma'am.
Naval.
Yes, ma'am.
Navya.
Present, ma'am.
Nikhil.
Present, ma'am.
Panindra.
Present, ma'am.
Pavan.
Yes, ma'am.
Pooja.
Present, ma'am.
Purnima.
Present, ma'am.
Raman.
Present, ma'am.
Rashmi.
Present, ma'am.
Rupak.
Yes, ma'am.
Sai Kumar.
Present, ma'am.
Samir.
Present, ma'am.
Santosh.
Present, ma'am.
Sadab.
Present, ma'am.
Sharan.
Present, ma'am. Mike.
Shashank.
Present, ma'am.
Sheetal.
Present, ma'am.
Shivani. Soumya Shri.
Present, ma'am.
Spurti.
Present, ma'am.
Shri Vishnu.
Present, ma'am.
Sugandhini.
Present, ma'am.
Sushmita.
Present, ma'am.
Sushmita you.
Present, ma'am.
Tirtha.
Present, ma'am. Present, ma'am.
Trupti.
Present, ma'am.
Varsha.
Present, ma'am.
Veena.
Present, ma'am.
Yes, Rupak, you were having some doubt.
Ma'am, Sushma present, ma'am.
Yeah, Sushma, I'll mark.
No, ma'am. It 5 mistake